You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
We're excited to kick off the third annual Lawn Tourpreneur Series and highlight some of the best and brightest up-and-comers in the lawn and landscaping industry. We're interviewing 6 lawntrepreneurs from across the country and highlighting their success as we share their inspiring story with you. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Yard Book, Equip Exposition, and Staybill for partnering with us on this exciting tour. Don't forget to check out the correlating equipment tour video for each guest on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel, dropping each Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, guys, we're hopping on into it here. Super excited about bringing our guest of the hour and somebody I've been getting to know a lot more, and I'm so glad I was able to make it down here to Decatur. Yep. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Decatur, Indiana. Shout out to all my friends in Indiana. Hey, why don't you get us on the tour? Okay. I got 2 of you guys this year. Relax. I'm representing, help you guys represent. Dan Archbold, you've got a great company here. How's it going today?
Yeah, pretty good.
You excited?
Yeah.
Dude.
Pumped
up. You've been probably my most stoked guest ever that I've ever done a teenager tour with. That is excited about having me come on in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a great opportunity.
Your outward excitement doesn't match your inward excitement. Your nervous energy is exciting energy, you know? But what's going on in your neck of the woods, man? How's things going?
Pretty good. I was saying in the YouTube video, going to be pushing 100 landscaping jobs this year.
That's crazy.
30 yards a week to mow to keep us more busy.
Yep.
Yeah, just a lot of money to be made.
There you go.
Couldn't be more blessed.
I love it, man. Well, help me paint the picture a little bit. First off, if you guys want to see the correlating YouTube video that's going to drop tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel, come check it out. Come see Dan's setup, especially if you guys are younger. I'm sure he'll give you some inspiration and some motivation. If you guys do happen to swing by, drop a comment, maybe give Dan an encouraging word. It always helps the guests, just feel like they are having a good time with it, and then also helps the algorithm a little bit. I think. I don't even know anymore. I don't even care, but it just helps the guests, say, hey, man, thanks for taking time out of your guys' busy day. You're giving me the second half of the afternoon on a weekday, so I can't thank you enough for opening up your shop and your business and spending time with me.
Yeah, no problem.
So thank you, and thank you to all these guys as well. So I just want to say, give them the lay of the land. Where are you coming from with your business? How's things going right now?
Yeah, so I started 4 years ago, or really 3 years ago is when it really took off. I started out with a little mini S10, a little 5.5 by 8 utility trailer.
The good old Chevy S10, bro.
Yeah, from like a Real King, which is pretty much like a TSC here. Worked out of that. I had a little 44-inch Ferris zero turn that I got from a guy that I work for in the wintertime. He said, use that, grow with it a little bit, and then just give it back. So I got to use that.
Wait, a free mower to mow grass?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So I used that for a little bit. Like I said, I was blessed about that. He wasn't using it, so he said, grow your business a little bit. He'd love to help me out. So I used that. And then...
That was your first year?
That was my first year.
Okay.
Next year, I still had the S10 and the little small trailer. Bought myself that Toro 52-inch grandstand.
Okay.
Worked out of that for a long time, and then saved enough and bought myself a little 2006 F-150.
Is that the black one out there?
The black one out there, yep.
Okay, cool.
Got that. Went really well, and then saved enough and bought a bigger trailer. Worked out of that for the longest time. Then I bought 2016 Chevy 2500. I was starting to get into more work dealing with skid loaders, and I felt like with renting every week, it wasn't worth spending that weekly. So I just invested into a bigger truck.
And that's the truck you were renting too,
right?
How did you rent the truck? I remember you saying in the YouTube video. I didn't want to interrupt you, but how did you have like a local enterprise, or what did you rent to?
I just used a good friend of my dad's.
Okay.
He just let me take his truck. He had an F-350, I believe it was.
No kid.
So he just, anytime I needed it, he said, keys are in it.
What?
Give me,
$50-$100 a day.
Yeah.
What?
So,
talk about a blessing.
Yeah. So
most of us are like trying to justify the equipment purchase.
Yeah.
Because we're renting, I rent a lot of tractors for my buddies. $200 a day adds up.
Right.
I can make a truck or a tractor payment $200 for the month.
Right. Yeah.
So we're right there. I'm just being lazy and trying to, frankly, get my financial ducks in a row just after the dust settles with building the house. But 100% next year we'll have a tractor. So usually that's the tougher conversation is renting equipment. But you were renting a truck and a trailer, or a truck and the equipment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it was adding up, like I said. Felt like it was in need to just buy a bigger truck. So that's what I did this year.
Wow.
Bought a bigger truck, and it brought my business to a whole new level.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. And I also bought a dump trailer. Like I said, all this stuff doesn't come all at once. It's a process, and you won't see it right away. You just got to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
Do good work. Word of mouth. People will recommend you if you do good work. And like I said, how you get started is just, like I did, I went on a Word document, wrote up a few flyers, handed them out in the neighborhood, and got my first customer on a Thanksgiving.
Share that story. So you mentioned that in the YouTube video, but share that story. How you got your first customer?
Yeah. So 4 years ago, my family didn't have a house then. We had an apartment as we moved from Canada, and they needed some house work done. So I helped them, and I was like, wow, this is kind of fun, cleaning out some gutters, mowing their yard and stuff. So when my family got a house 2 years ago, I wrote up some flyers and went around the neighborhood and handed them out and told them who I was and stuff like that. And then got my first call on Thanksgiving. Worked, almost missed a family gathering to finish that leaf cleanup.
Sure.
Lost a lot of money on that job looking back on it, but it's how you start out and you learn from that process is just, as you grow, you realize your expenses and how much you need to make to grow the business even more. And then after that, it just kind of grew and grew and grew and
compounded
from today. Yeah.
What were you thinking when you get that first customer? Like, hey, I'm going to cut grass and do lawn and snow for a living. Were you just extra income? I always ask that question because everybody falls into it, quote unquote, into lawn and landscape different.
Yeah.
I feel like some people, hey, I'm going to go to college for 4 years and I'm going to start a company. And I like the Brian Kazaks with Landform, very like intelligent, thoughtful, collegiate, esque dude. He's an entrepreneur and is choosing to make his money in the green industry.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. My story is I was just kind of pushed out of this, pushed out to that, and kind of fell back into what I knew, which was cutting grass. And I loved it. So what was your thought, if you don't mind me asking, going back to Thanksgiving and that cleanup? Were you trying to start a business? Were you just trying to make some extra cash?
Yeah. So
a little bit of both.
I guess my whole life, I really wanted to become a cop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then, up until my junior year, like I said, that story, I started doing a little bit of yard work and I really enjoyed it. I decided to just go from there and try it out. And as it grew, it just kind of became my career.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to do now.
Did you feel like the growth was as fast as you thought or slower than you thought? I know you were alluding to that. You're like, oh, some days I'm making the progress I want, other days I'm not. So how do you feel about that?
So at first it was really slow.
Yeah.
I looked at all these other landscapers that have been in business for, 5, 10, 15, 50 years.
Right.
And thought I should be top of the line. and I always asked them, how do you get that dump trailer? How did you get that F350 and stuff like that? And they've always told me, just keep working hard and you'll see that growth. And so I just continued, and then finally got enough to buy my F-150.
Yeah.
And then got more busier and, I needed some help. So I hired a guy.
Yep.
He's been with me for 2 years now.
Okay.
So, that's how it went.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, because your social media is growing pretty well right now. You get 10,000 followers, by the way, or something?
Yep, almost 10.3.
Dude, that's so cool. Congratulations. Let me ask you this. No, not a trick question. Now, do you guys have younger guys or kids that quote unquote call you guys kids, your age, reaching out to you and saying, hey, how do you grow? How do you get customers? Going full circle now.
When I was starting out, I would ask, I texted Brian quite a bit.
Yeah.
Asking, hey, how do you do these mulch jobs and this and that? And now I'm getting the text saying, how do you grow? How do you, get more customers? What do you use to get more customers?
That's so
stuff
cool.
Like that. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How do you feel? Is it a rewarding experience being able to hopefully help somebody, in that next level and maybe answer some questions or blindside, some spots?
So that's what I'm all about, is just trying to, help people out as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's why I love doing this business, is because I love meeting new people, talking to new people.
Yeah.
If I can help them out any way I can, for sure, we'll do that.
It's because you're making millions with social media too, right?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's addicting helping people.
Yeah.
And I can totally relate. It's you're almost like charged with it.
Yeah.
Tasked with it. Like, you've been blessed. I know you've been saying that on the YouTube video.
Right.
Like, you've been blessed and you just want to pay it forward.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, I had a guy earlier this year, I had to do some landscape and some mulch, and we knocked it out in a day. And he's like, dude, this would have took me all week.
Right.
I was like, we're just,
got you, bro.
Just got to stay working. And yeah.
I love it.
Helped him out and knocked him out for it.
Let me ask you this. As the company has continued to grow the last couple of years, I know you're doing a lot with landscaping.
Yeah.
We've got some great mowing accounts too, and you got a crew that goes out for mowing.
Right.
One guy or two guy for your mowing?
Usually a lot of times I go with them.
Okay.
There's 3 of us, really.
Okay.
2 guys on the mower, 1 guy trimming. But sometimes, I send 2 guys out.
Okay.
And then sometimes I have an extra hand if I need a 3rd guy to go out with them.
Cool.
For the bigger properties. But
you're doing more landscaping. At least that's what I feel like you're most passionate about.
Yep.
And you were telling me on the YouTube video some crazy stats with how many jobs you did last year,
right? How
many jobs you're at this year. Feel free to share about that for a few minutes. How I feel like I don't do a ton with landscaping. I mean, inside baseball guys, like we'll sling mulch and we can do some basic plantings, prunings, cutbacks. I'm not really interested in doing the landscaping stuff personally. Can we? Will we? Yes, I'm sure. If I get some good talent and some guys that know what they're doing, sure. But it's not really what I'm most passionate about, so I don't do too much of it.
Right.
But I do enjoy watching you guys do these renovations and landscape enhancements and installs. I feel like that's really a sweet spot for you right now.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you have more education on doing those than I do.
Right.
What's been your reason for focusing on the landscaping? Like, is that where your passion is? Like,
yeah. So when we go out on the landscape jobs, I'd say the edging, the landscaping is really important. I think it brightens up the whole landscaping, making sure that mulch is, really flattened out. When it gets towards the end, making sure it goes smooth into the edge.
Yep.
Leaving it about halfway up the edge. That way it separates the lawn from the landscaping. And then same if we if we mow it, we get those stripes in there, and then we get the landscaping and
pops.
Makes the house pop.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
So is it the quote unquote the satisfying finish to it?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of work. Like I was telling Brian, yesterday we did a 12-ton number 4 river rock job.
That's a lot.
All by hand, no equipment. So long day, but at the end of the day, it looked really good.
Yep.
Customer was satisfied 100%.
Love it.
And we just gained another customer for next year.
I love it.
So with the weed pulling and stuff.
Brian's conversation with Dan continues after this word from our Teen Tour sponsor.
Managing your landscaping business just got easier with Yardbook, the trusted software solution for over 20,000 businesses in the landscaping industry. Yardbook is your all-in-one platform, having scheduled millions of jobs and processed millions of invoices seamlessly. Experience minimal downtime, an intuitive user interface, and the latest features thanks to Yardbook's commitment to rapid innovation driven by user feedback. Stay ahead of the curve and streamline your operations like never before. Discover the power of Yardbook today and see why so many landscaping businesses rely on it to manage their operations. Sign up now with the link in the podcast description and transform your business.
Let me ask you this. When you were talking about, you've, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you can correct me after, is you said you love giving back. Like, you've been blessed. You want to bless other people in the community. And you feel like landscaping is one of your ways you're doing that.
Right. Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So I just think, especially the older people, they can't get out and, pull the weeds and do what they used to be able to do when they were younger. So, we get paid, but it's also a good feeling knowing that we make their house look good.
Right.
Like, we want to be that company when someone's walking by and be like, oh, who did your landscaping?
Yeah, yeah.
And we want that person to be like, oh, Archbold Landscaping, you should give him a call. He'll treat you right,
Love it.
But yeah, some people, they've really heard and they hear a price and they don't want to pay that much, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But other people are like, you know what, you do good work. We trust you.
Yep.
Go ahead and do it. And we know it'll work out.
I love it. Where have you helped with your mindset on pricing? I remember you talking about that in the YouTube video. Again, great video, guys. If you check it out tonight on YouTube, if you guys are hanging out late night, like we all are, lurking on YouTube or Instagram. But knowing your numbers, quote unquote, or what you want to make profit. I know you're still learning all this, and we all are.
Right.
But how have you navigated some of those, maybe today versus where you were a couple years ago? Just like you said, that first cleanup maybe didn't go so hot.
Right.
We've all been there.
Right.
But how are you dialing in some more of your pricing now?
So yeah, like I said, when I first started, I didn't really have much expenses. So, I thought I was making money until I bought, the F-150 or the Chevy 2500, which is a lot to fill up. But as you grow, you see how much money is coming out monthly.
Right.
And then that kind of breaks down how much you need to make a month plus extra profit into the business to keep this business going. So
a truck like that's 35-gallon tank.
Yeah.
$4 a gallon.
It's not cheap. And, that's my biggest thing is explaining that to people, like it's more than just coming and laying down some mulch. Like you bring your rig, you bring the guys. I mean, especially nowadays, you have to pay your guys a decent amount or else they can go work at McDonald's for just as much. It's
crazy.
So,
before, when you were working out of your parents' apartment or house, you could charge a certain number and make money. But now, fast forward 18 months, you get this beautiful storage facility and beautiful bay. We're actually in here right now. I'm telling you guys, you got to check out the video. It's really, really cool. This is the kind of stuff I want to get into real estate-wise, to invest into, to be able to give small, medium businesses like guys like us a place to work out of. So I'm here, I'm like, dude, this is the vision. This is the dream. But now you have this monthly expense, several $100s a month to float this. So that has to get factored into your mulch prices and your landscape prices, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel like you're paying more attention to the details now as your company continues to grow?
Yeah, because I think you have to. If you don't, and you just say, don't just go out on a job and give it a price right away. Say, give me a couple of days, let me work out a price. Go home, add in what you need, because you never know when you're on that job what's going to break too. You got to factor in, your equipment. So go home, work it out, think it through, and price it right. Because if not, then you can lose a lot of money real fast.
I love that.
So
I don't inside baseball. I have stopped giving any prices in person because I know my personality type. It works against myself. When I'm in person, I want to get the sale. Like I'm excited, and I'm also a people pleaser. So I've realized me making quotes in person usually never goes my way. Yeah,
that's another thing too. I mean,
I always go home and then submit something via LMN. Or whatever.
Yeah. And another thing too is, you want to be as nice as possible, but sometimes you got to, really stick down to your prices, especially at age 19.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, he's a young kid, he can do it for $100.
Right.
You got to have a minimum and you got to really stick with that, because if you let it go for one person, they're going to be like, they're going to recommend you to someone else and just say, oh, say what I said.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do it for them, they're gonna be like, "Well, you did it for this person." So
when did you learn that, or how did you learn that? Because that's a hard lesson. Sometimes you just have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
You mowed Johnny's lawn for $25. And you're like, yeah, but he's been a customer for 4 years. When I was 15, you don't get the same, friends and family discount price.
Yeah.
Did you have a breaking moment, whatever you call it, like back in the day for that, or?
Not really. I was kind of over the years. I kind of learned each year to price good and get better at not giving in. I'd say my first 2 years, I kind of slipped a little bit and said, yeah, actually I'll do it. But now it's more like, I gotta have this money. It's not like I want to get rich, but in order to keep my business going and to pay my guys that are coming in every day, you have to charge what you have to charge.
You got to treat it like a real business.
Right. Yep.
And not only that, you're engaged to be married, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to be, going through that whole season of planning a wedding and expenses. And like you said, I know you're saving up for a home and it doesn't just, it just doesn't come to you. Just because you're working hard doesn't equal making money.
Yeah.
Right. You have to be intentional.
For sure. Yeah.
I love that. Let me ask you this: where have you learned? Where's some of the best education or places that you've learned to find how to run a lawn and landscape company, or like what are you watching or what are you listening to these days that's helping you grow?
So there's actually this YouTube channel called Brian's Lawn Maintenance.
Yeah.
I watch him quite a bit.
I appreciate it.
My first year of landscaping, I actually worked with a guy down the road. So pretty much 5 years ago.
Okay.
Before I got into my own business. And he knew from the start I wanted to try out my own business. But he kind of taught me some things. And then the second year I was supposed to work with him part-time. And with school and work and life, I just couldn't do it. So I kind of went on my own. And, I get all my mulch and stone from him. So we're on good terms. And it just went from there.
Yeah.
And then other is you just learn as you go too. I mean, a lot of it you're going to learn as you go. So
I love that. Yeah. You got to earn your stripes. Yeah. Even if you got the best software or billing systems or whatever, like you're going to show up to a job and realize that something that you're calculating on paper, you're like, no, that ditch over there looks like a PETA. That's another $300 or $3,000. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, like I said, you just got to really focus on knowing your prices, going home, taking the time to figure it out, do the math, and not just being that cheap guy who's just doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I remember Troy Klug saying the customers aren't the ones that we're competing against on price, it's each other.
Right.
And if Dan's pricing this River Rock job you did, is that what you were saying yesterday? At $2,500 and I come in at $1,600, and I'm shooting myself and everybody in the foot in the market. Even if you have the big guy that was your friend, he's got to do it for $3,200. Well, maybe we need to come up to $3,200 or whatever, right? Like that's the market price. Let's not race to the bottom.
Yeah. And I'd say too, with your competitors out there, don't hold a grudge against them. If you all work together, more jobs could open up for you. I'm not saying you have to have your name in every single guy's business, but when they're out, say hi, introduce who you are. I'd say I'm pretty well known with all the landscapers. I reached out to them, texted them, called them, told them who I was, what I was doing, and
make friends.
Yeah, I got to know them pretty well. So
I love it.
Yeah.
There's two guys back at home amongst many that I'm working with because I'm doing the exact same thing that you're proposing. I am pumped to do this as well as we want to grow to the different revenue marks. I'm looking to sub out some sites for my friend Matt with Clippers, my friend Brian Kazak. Like they both have sites in my backyard.
Yeah.
It's only 15 minutes down the road from where they're at, but 15 minutes in a metro market is like non-serviceable with a good snowstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it could take you 2 hours to go 15 minutes. You guys know. And so that's potential revenue opportunities there. I just had a site come in that has a location where I live, but they have a new HQ that they're investing in, unfortunately, outside of my route, where my friend Brian Kazak has his company. He's like, you want anything for it? What do you want for it? Are you trying to sub it out? I go, nope, it's yours. Just take it. It's part of your portfolio. I don't want anything for it. Buy me dinner if you get it. I don't care. But if I can send a $10, $20, $30, $50,000 account, who knows? Who cares? His way, like that's just good networking. And then hopefully the next time he gets one on my neck of the woods, he can send it my way.
Right.
And I just think that networking is so huge.
Yeah, it's really huge.
Yeah.
It could lead you to great places, open up more jobs for you.
Absolutely.
And you can meet new people, more people. So.
Yeah, that's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Stop looking at everybody as competition, and saying, hey, maybe I can sub out for that guy, or maybe he can sub out for me.
Yeah.
And let's win together.
Yeah. So it's just not like one guy I have a good connection with. It's Wilson Brothers in Burton.
Yep.
A guy down the road. I mean, it's everyone.
Building your team, building a network.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Let me ask you this. We'll a little bit of a pivot, and then we'll probably land the plane. This has been a lot of fun. I'm actually doing a double tap today. First half of the day, getting to hang out with the Wilson brothers.
Yeah.
Second half of the day, getting to hang out with Dan. And then where are we going after this? You said you're building this up.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Famous Monster Pizza.
Monster Pizza.
Can't have it anywhere else. So.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this. He's been hyping it up. Dan literally texted me. He's like, "You can come do a shop tour with me. We can hang out under one circumstance." And I'm like, contingent. I'm like, now I'm nervous. I'm like, what? He goes, "I got to take you out to dinner." I'm like, dude, I'm not a big deal. I can be in and out, like whatever. Yeah. And you're like, no, trust me. Like you're gonna want to eat pizza here. Yeah. So now, like I was hanging with the Wilson brother guys this morning, and they're like, so where's Dan taking you for dinner? Like, you're talking about this place. I'm like, I don't know. And they go, is it Monster Pizza? I go, dude, I feel like it is Monster Pizza. They go, oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
So like, shout out to Monster Pizza in, where's that? Decatur?
Yep.
Decatur?
Just uptown. Yep.
Okay. So free shout out for those guys.
Yeah. They opened up, I believe, last year.
Okay.
Either last year or 2 years ago. And I mean, they have the best pizza. I mean,
I'm down.
I mean, people come, they travel.
Is that right?
On the weekends
for it?
Just come for Monster Pizza.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So my last question for you, a little bit of a pivot. What's some things that you feel like have been a struggle for you, or something that maybe you didn't expect over the last couple of years? You know, things like payroll or cash flow or financing equipment, employees, leadership, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
What's some things that maybe if you were talking to the younger you 3 or 4 years ago that you didn't think you had to care about or weren't a big deal, but you're like, actually, dude, I need to get better at that. If you don't mind me asking, what's some of the growing up, quote unquote, things you had to learn?
So pricing is a big one, like I said earlier.
Sure.
You got to really know your prices. Keeping your stuff clean, not letting them go downhill. Keeping up to date on the oil changes on the mowers.
Maintenance.
Yep.
That's
maintenance.
huge.
Just keep work and don't give up. I mean, they say, in 5 years of being business, most people quit.
Yeah.
Because they think they should have the best of the best, or they should have,
for sure,
200 customers, and it's not like that. You got to put your name out there. You got to get your name well known. And
takes time.
That's another thing too, is having your name, as the business name. You can't mess up, because if you mess up, then
your name's on it.
Your name's on it, and that's what I just focus on every day, is making sure it's all tidied up and cleaned up. And you're always going to have that person who complains, or it's just how it is. It's just there, but
yeah.
Just making sure everything's tidied up, raking, making sure all the leaves, the grass is out of the driveway, the edges are cleaned up, and
just good quality work.
Yeah.
We did a shop tour with Jason Cromley with Hidden Creek.
Okay.
I don't know if you happen to see that one or catch that one. It was in the spring. $25 million company.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, phenomenal dude. Like, I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
But I asked him, I said, what's the biggest thing folks need to focus on going to $1 million? And he said, doing quality work. Yeah. He said, period. Yeah. He goes, your work has to speak for itself. It will grow, your company will grow with referrals if you're doing what you say you're going to do.
Right. Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know why or how the way he said it, but it just hit with me and stuck with me. And I've been really harping on my guys. Let's do the job that we're getting hired to do.
Yeah.
I know it sounds simple and silly, but like, you have to show up.
Right. Well, I think of it as, if it was my house, if I hire someone to do a $2,500 rock job, you want it done right.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Don't play with people's money. You're in it to, satisfy the customer. Don't skip corners, and, do it the right way and do it correctly, and they will be happy. So,
yep. And they'll be your biggest evangelists.
Yeah. And that could continue on for years. I have this one mulch job. I've been doing it for 4+ years now.
Wow.
So since the day I started landscaping, she had me do her mulch, and
keeps asking to come back.
Yeah. So every year I do her mulch. Same with multiple other customers. I've been doing it since the day I started.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, I'd say that's the hardest thing, is keeping the same customers with the new customers coming in. So
good. Good. Last thing I'll say that I can totally relate with. You're like, everybody wants the nice things or the best stuff overnight. And I'm like, dude, it just doesn't work that way. Unless you're bringing a bunch of cash into this thing.
Right.
But like my first 10, 12 years, like not the best any of it,
Right.
like we were just limping along. And we're really like 4 or 5, maybe 6 years into like this new phase of myself since getting on YouTube and like kind of restarting since like 16, 17, 18 timeframe. And we're just now starting to really get our legs under us with the nicer trucks, the nicer trailers, some mowers. And 2 parts of that is like, one, it took me a lot longer than I thought to get what I have, quote unquote. Yeah. And other folks are like, that's all he has. I'm like, well, you get this far and see what you have.
Yeah.
I'm like, it can take 5 to 10 years to get your feet under you.
Especially if you are in it alone.
Exactly.
Like I had, my mom and dad, my sister, my family,
Takes time.
My fiance, her family, I mean, they've all encouraged me. And, you know, my dad and even my fiance's mom took me to jobs when I didn't have my license yet and helped me quoted yards.
That's awesome.
You know, I had to buy a little heart battery, weed eater, and leaf blower for that $20 yard I had.
Right.
That was the only yard I had for the whole year. And I push mowed that, and it's just how it is. It's just how you start, and you just got to have that mindset of keep going and don't give up and pray about it. You know, my church family, we're a small church family, and I'm blessed to have them because I don't know where I would be without, you know, God and my church family. So
I love that.
So my fiance, she's through school. She's really encouraged me to get through school and, you know, make sure my assignments are on top. And
there you go.
Yeah. So I'm blessed, and just got to surround yourself with great people.
I love it, man.
So, yeah.
You're, not only have you surrounded yourself with great people, you're becoming a great people, by the way, and you'll be that guy for other people too in your community.
Yeah.
And the kids and the young men that you get to coach and mentor that you bring into your organization.
Yep.
And so you're going to be paying it forward like you already have been on social, and it's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah. I have this kid, you know, that wants to start up this landscaping lawn care, and he reached out to me, and right away I was like, yeah, well, I mean, do it.
Let's go.
I mean, I'll help him with pricing and make sure he's pricing right away the correct way, and making sure he's doing things right. So that way when he grows, he won't be like, oh, I wish I would have had help along the way, you know. And that's what you just got to do. You just got to get back to, and you'll be blessed some way or in another. So
it never comes back the same as you sow it, right?
Yep.
It always comes back pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing.
For sure.
That's right. So that's why, you know, you can't mock God, and you also can't outgive God.
Right.
So throw it out there, sow, and watch it come back.
Yep.
And, you know, if you don't believe me, try it.
Yeah.
So give, tithe.
Yeah. Even Brian.
See how it goes.
With his YouTube channel, he's helped me. I can't imagine how many people he's helped, you know. So
I appreciate that.
I told him earlier, you know, thank you for the YouTube channels. He's always willing to help, and he's very positive. So that's what we need.
I try to be.
So, yeah, a lot of people need more positivity, and Brian's that guy. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm definitely not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I just try to lead with treating people right and trying to bless you guys with the best I can get.
Yeah.
And if anybody has better, please let me know. Reach out, and we'll get you on the show, and you can give them the sauce.
Yeah.
I don't have it all figured out. I'm learning from you guys. Every one of you guys that I've been doing this teenager tour with, 3 or 4 of you guys now out of the 4 or 5, 6 that I got to film. I leave these environments more inspired than probably you guys. You're like, oh, it's Brian's Lawn Maintenance or whatever. But I leave it. I text Liz. I go, dude, these kids are killing it. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, let's get going. And she's like, I know, bro. I've been telling you this, and we're doing good, and the guys are doing great. Right. But you know how it goes. Yeah. Like, you guys inspire the snot out of me. So
and
feelings mutual.
You know, one of my employees, Nate. You know, you say, how do you find that Rob?
Yeah,
you know, you have Rob. And, you know, I'm very blessed with Nate. I'm blessed with my other guy too.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nate's usually the guy, if I need to go do something, he runs the crew, and
cool.
He knows how to run everything and keeping things going. And I'm just blessed to have him. So
shout out to the Nates.
So, yeah. I
love it. The Nates and Robs, we all, if you guys have a right-hand man, say an extra prayer for those guys, because they are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
And just keep the machine moving, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
So.
Well, dude, we're going to probably button it up right here. This has been good. It's been super fun. I feel like, dude, you're 19 going on like 30, you know, kind of deal. You know, all you young guys that are just putting this all together, it's like talking to another 35-year-old adult. And I sometimes forget, I'm like, this kid's 17 or 19 or 20. I'm like, it's just so impressive. But for people that want to follow along or watch along, maybe listen to the podcast or check out the YouTube video tonight, where can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, so Instagram is Archbold _landscaping _LLC.
Yep.
My YouTube, ARCHBOLD. Yep, no I.
Yep, I was just going to say.
And then YouTube is just Archbold Landscaping, LLC.
Okay.
So
give us a subscribe there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Well, cool. We'll give Dan a follow. Check out everything he's got going on. Thanks for, again, being a guest on the tour.
No problem.
Thanks for taking half of your day. I was telling the Wilson brother guys, I try to film these a lot on Saturdays and Sundays because I know people are a little bit more chill and, you know, not going 100 miles an hour during the week. But thanks for taking a weekday, half of a day, You guys were cleaning up all the trucks and everything looks probably the cleanest it's looked all spring.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially the Ford. The Ford really needed it. So.
Sometimes it's a good excuse if company is coming.
Yeah.
Because then you have to clean.
Yeah.
That's how my life is, at least. But but you got a great thing going on, man. And I just want to say proud of you and keep it going.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll kick it back over to Mr. Producer to wrap it up, and we'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
We hope you guys enjoyed this interview for the 2024 Teenager Lawn Tourpreneur Series. If you'd like to see more from each guest, including a full tour of their business and lawn care setup, we invite you every Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern to check out the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel. Thanks for listening, and get after it, friends.
This is your invitation to Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2024 on November 2nd in Novi, Michigan. Prepare for a dynamic day filled with expert sessions on cash flow management, business automation, client retention, marketing strategies, and more. Our stellar lineup of speakers includes Sam Rankin, Pat Murray, Ken Deemer, Brian Fullerton, Sam Gemble, Mark Bradley, Jeff Joyner. Connect with industry peers, win fantastic giveaways, and elevate your business. Don't miss our Friday night mixer for some great networking and fun. Enhance your experience with our exclusive Sunday masterclass sessions on November 3rd, featuring Jeff Joyner, Mark Bradley, and Sam Gemble. These intensive 3-hour classes are limited to 20 seats each, offering you tailored advice from the pros. Secure your tickets for Saturday at $249 until September 17th. Then, the price jumps to $297. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to register for Saturday and reserve your masterclass spot for Sunday. This is your opportunity to grow and network with the best in the industry.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.